Well, good morning, everybody. I am beyond thrilled to be here on this momentous day to celebrate with all of you. I'm Steve Dubnik, President and CEO of The Strong, and perhaps the most relieved person in the country. We did it. This isn't just a big day for the museum, however. It's a big day for the neighborhood of play, for the Rochester region, and for New York State, and for the toy and video game industries. This project has been a massive undertaking and many, many years in the making, and it took all of you and hundreds more to complete. Together, we've created a unique destination, unlike anything in the world, with the expanded museum at its heart. From a sunken highway that ran through the museum's backyard, with the anchor support of New York State, we've created an entire neighborhood that's now the epicenter for celebrating and for studying play. Today, we are honored to have the governor from our great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul, here to celebrate with us. At this time, I'd like to invite her up to the stage for a few words.
Stephen, it's almost 1 o'clock. He has been waiting for 1 o'clock on this day for 4 solid years, he told me. So to be here on this day is such an honor for me. I've been bringing my children here for many, many years when they're younger. Now I'm a grandma. I can't wait to introduce Sophia to this wonderful place of magic. And Stephen, you have shepherded this through, taken this concept, this museum that just used to welcome children, to a place where I think you're going to have as many adults as children reliving their childhood. So leadership matters. You made a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get another round of applause to Steve Dubnik. This region is blessed with also extraordinary elected leaders. I call them friends. They are committed to making sure that the Finger Lakes region and Rochester in particular really reach their full potential. And I want to thank our congressman, former leader of everything, former supervisor, former member of the assembly, but now representing our voice in Washington, our Congressman Joe Morelli. Let's give Joe a member of applause. County Executive Bello, we have been at so many groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings, it almost seems nonstop. So it is great to be rejoined with you once again to just show the world how much fun Rochester is in the Finger Lakes region. So let's give a round of applause to our county executive. And to be able to be the mayor of one of the most fun places in the entire world, Mayor Malik Evans, thank you for being there for this community, fighting for this community, and really making a difference. Also, I have great partners in the state legislature. I believe they're all present here. But in the Senate, we have Jeremy Cooney and Samra Brooke. Let's give them both a round of applause. Thank you both. The Assembly member Lunsford and Meeks have joined us. Let's give a round of applause to both of them. Oh, Sarah Clark is here too. Got Sarah. That's Sarah. Today is a opportunity for us to make a strong commitment to the revitalization of this region. I know this region well. I grew up just down the road. I know all the ups and I know the downs. I have seen this area rise up and be that place that people wanted to work. I grew up in Buffalo. We had a lot of blue-collar workers, but Rochester was always the white-collar workers. And so we used to look at the people who worked at Bausch and Lomb and Kodak and all the people that were innovating, creating things, such a place of energy and vitality. And then when the businesses leave, you feel like you're losing your sense of identity as well. But no more. This region has reinvented themselves, and it didn't happen with just hope. It happened with partners in the private sector and those who've investing in this area. And at this point, I want to give a special shout out to the Ralph C. Wilson Foundation, because every time there is a positive announcement, something good happening, Mary Wilson is there. Thank you. Thank you for your faith. Thank you for recognizing that Buffalo Bills fans are Rochester Bills fans too, that the love of this team has transcended one geographic area, and your presence here today is so special to us, Mary Wilson. Let's give her another round of applause. And to the board members, the chairs, the donors, there is an incredible civic spirit here. And that's what every community would love to have, is what we have here in Rochester and in Monroe County. And you think about Margaret Woodbury Strong, who back when most of you weren't even born yet, had a vision, a place of gathering, a place that has let people be someone else for a short time and just to return to childhood. And that's what she created. But here in 2023, taking this to a new level that embraces the other ways that we've enjoyed just relaxation and stimulation through digital games, video games, everybody of a certain area, that's all you knew. We thought Pong was so sophisticated. How did they get those little balls to go back and forth? It's amazing. I still remember that. Wow, this is a new era. And now look where we are today. But I happen to believe that the stimulation of these games that used to make some parents angry and upset, like my kids have to be outdoors. Yes, outdoors is great, but not today. The air quality is kind of bad. When you can't be outdoors, this is also stimulating the mind with these games. And I believe that is why new developments, new innovations like artificial intelligence, I guarantee this is all thought of by people who cut their teeth in their childhood having their minds stimulated with these kinds of games. I don't think parents knew it at the time, but I believe that is one of the reasons that we're going to continue to propel this nation into the next area of creative solutions through technology because of what has happened in our history as children. So today we celebrate that. This is the place you're going to take a chance to walk back through time and understand how we got here, but also a place where you can just be somebody else for a little while. Take that step back into a more innocent time. Something we all need to do to recharge the soul. This is the place. But what happened here in this space, not just in this building, but this neighborhood, a neighborhood of play. What an ingenious branding, I have to say. I like to say New York is the state of play because it just gives you that sense of this is where people want to be. How can you not want to play? But the neighborhood itself, the new hotel, the new housing, you look out the window, there are people who call this area home when at one time was just asphalt and speeding cars going by. What imagination brought us to this day to say we can reverse the lessons of the past, the wrongs of the past, and say this community deserves more. It deserves excellence and a magnificent gathering place, which is what we're here to finish long journey of completion toward today. So I thank everyone. I thank people from Rochester who fiercely believe that their community deserved better. And I hope that they look back at this day and say, yes, this is when it changed. We built this opportunity. We made something out of nothing in this particular area. And now it is a place to showcase to the rest of the world the possibility of people when they come together with a common spirit and just want to have fun. So thank you to everybody who made this happen. I could not be prouder to be here. Again, I'm going to be calling up when Sophie's a little bit older than 1, maybe. I don't know what the right age is. What's the right age? Any age? 0. Okay. He thinks she should be here already. In fact, believe me, when I was FaceTiming with her, and she thinks her grandmother's really little because she lives far away. But my son says, why didn't you bring Sophia to the opening? So I owe my granddaughter a visit here, just like my children, because this is a place where families can reconnect and feel the love and the gift of play, connections, family, and that's what you're offering to the rest of the world right here today. Over 1 million people are going to come here. I think we're going to surpass those numbers, and it all begins here today at 1 o'clock. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations.
So thank you, Governor Hochul, for all your support throughout this project. So one more round for the governor, please. We were trying to count how many times she's been here to visit in her different roles, and it's been many, many, more than one hand, and I really appreciate all of that. So thank you all for making the time in your busy schedule to be here to celebrate with us this morning. I know you have another engagement to get to, so we're going to take a minute now and head over to this ribbon, and we're actually going to cut that ribbon today and kick things off. So I'd also like to invite our past strong board chairs, Laura Saxby Lynch and David Burns, to come and join me, and our current board chair, Bernard Birnbaum. If you guys can, everyone, please. Off to her next appointment, as they say, on with the show. So now you have to listen to me for a couple of minutes. Some of you may remember when the inner loop that was here in the SIA Museum parking spaces that previously occupied the area in front and over in this direction. The project started when the city of Rochester, with Senator Schumer's and state support, made the commitment to filling in the inner loop east, creating usable land and reconnecting neighborhoods. For the Strong, it was a once-in-a-lifetime chance to help to shape the neighborhood around us and to also grow the museum's footprint. At the time, space was already becoming an issue, and expanding the museum provides us with space to grow our attendance to nearly 1 million people per year. Sharing the gift of play with hundreds of thousands of more guests and having a direct economic impact on our region. Of course, with all those guests coming, many of them carrying kids in tow, the museum needed more parking spaces, so the project began with a nearly 1,000-car parking garage. Building that garage also freed up land for our partners to add to their parts of the neighborhood of play. On paper, a parking garage isn't too exciting, but I have to say, truly, have you ever seen a more playful parking garage in your life? And now you get to see the final part of our project, a 90,000 square foot museum expansion, which attaches to the parking garage via the portal of play, the glass structure that many of you entered through earlier. We also have a 17,000 square foot outdoor play space at the back end of the museum, the Hasbro Game Park, that I hope you all get a chance to see today. I hope you're as wild as I am when you see or buy the new welcome area and the Playhouse gift shop over here, or when you go upstairs and encounter a nearly 20-foot-tall Donkey Kong game, playable Donkey Kong arcade cabinet made with input and approval from Nintendo of America. From there, you get a chance to explore the 24,000 square feet ESL digital worlds that encompasses the high score and level up exhibits, and you get to walk through the Suzanne and Tony Goodman Gallery, featuring the game-changing Age of Empires series. And if that's not all enough, when you get out to the Hasbro Game Park, it features one of my favorite elements, a 5-headed, fire-breathing dragon from Dungeons & Dragons. Who else gets to say that? We wouldn't have been able to dream this up and build all of this without massive support from all of you, so I want to take a moment for some acknowledgments. First, I need to talk about the museum's talented and creative staff and the executive team who really made all this happen. I get to say the words, they do the work. And thank you as well to my predecessor and CEO Emeritus, Raleigh Adams, who started the planning process for this expansion with me nearly a decade ago. Raleigh, are you here? We also had wonderful support and leadership from our board of trustees throughout the project, many of whom are here today, including the people you've already met just a moment ago, Laura Saxby Lynch, Dave Burns, and current board chair Bernard Birnbaum. We received support from our Playmakers Leadership Council of dedicated volunteers as well. And of course, this is more than the museum. It's a neighborhood. And this neighborhood would not have been possible without our development partners, Konar Properties, who were led by Howard Konar and Tim Schmid. Indus Hospitality, led by Jet Mehta. The properties they've built in this neighborhood are truly stunning, and I'm sure a few of us will be, I know I will be celebrating with drinks and Nirvana fatty beers about 1 o'clock today. They say if you build it, they will come, and we wouldn't have been able to have designed or build this place without Chase Construction, CJS Architects, Labella Associates, and HB Cornerstone. Thank you. You guys have been literally working overtime to get us to this point today, so I hope you get a chance to catch some sleep now. And we wouldn't have been able to pay for it without our key donors and partners, or without our banking partner, M&T Bank. Thank you for your wonderful partnership. And we've been supported throughout by our local, state, and federal elected leaders. We'll hear directly from some of them in a few moments, but I want to highlight today that we're honored to be joined by Chris Zeltman, representing Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Senator Chuck Schumer. Austin Ponce, representing Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Congressman Joe Morelli from New York 25. Ed Hummel, representing the Economic Development Administration. Representing New York State and Empire State Development, we have Vinny Esposito, Laura O'Sullivan Fox, Ross Levi, Sharon Gray, Steve Golden, Lucas Martin, Elizabeth Morabito, and Sherry Voorhees Vincent. And of course, we have Jeremy Cooney, New York State Senator, 56th District. Samara Brooke, New York State Senator, 55th District. Jen Lunsford, New York State Assembly, District 135. Sarah Clark, New York State Assembly, District 136. Damon Meeks, New York State Assembly, District 137. County Executive from Monroe County, Adam Bello. The Mayor of the great city of Rochester, Malik Evans. Mercedes Vasquez Simmons, Monroe County Ledge Minority Leader. Rachel Barnhart, Monroe County Legislator, 21st District. Ricky Frazier, Monroe County Legislator, 28th District. Eversha Roman, Monroe County Legislator, 26th District. Susan Hughes Smith, Monroe County Legislator, 14th District. Mark Johns, Monroe County Legislator, 8th District. Rick Milne, Monroe County Legislator, 5th District. Jose Payo, Rochester City Council, Northwest District. And Mitch Gruber, City Council at Large. Thank you all for being here to support us. It's obviously the place to be today. After today's remarks, we'll have guided tours for our friends in the media and toy and video game industries if you have a green, purple, red, or blue lanyard. There'll be music from video game band Glitch upstairs near new exhibits, and food trucks parking and our bus loop out those front doors to keep the celebration going. The museum will officially open to the public at 1 o'clock today. If you have a lanyard from this event after the tours have concluded, we'll make sure you're able to get into the museum and have some time to explore the magic of what we created here. So to kick things off, I'd like to share a video from the Majority Leader of the United States Senate and our very own Senator Chuck Schumer.
Hi everyone, it's Senator Chuck Schumer, and I wish I could be with you in person, but I'm happy to say at long last, the Strong Museum expansion is on like Donkey Kong. Today's ribbon cutting is the culmination of years of hard work by so many, and I'm proud to have played a role in making this a reality. These efforts started back in 2011, when I joined then Strong Museum CEO Raleigh Adams to announce my push to secure $16 million to fill in the inner loop east. We secured that money and made way not only for the museum expansion, but for the entire new neighborhood of play. The new neighborhood's already an anchor for downtown Rochester, with new apartments, restaurants, and businesses here and thriving. And 2 years ago, when the museum needed a final $7.5 million investment to complete expansion, I called Commerce Secretary Raimondo and it secured the grant, the $7.5 million tourism grant, through the American Rescue Plan as the final piece of the puzzle. When I created this grant program in the American Rescue Plan, it was exactly projects like yours that I had in mind, because I knew the power of the Strong Museum would not only help Rochester recover from the pandemic, but build a strong foundation for the city's future. This project will bring in over $160 million in annual tourism revenue for the Rochester area, and that's on top of nearly double attendance at the museum annually and hundreds of new good-paying jobs. And of course, the world's largest Donkey Kong arcade game. I call dibs on the next game. So this is a win-win, both for the families, children, and visitors who will get the experience, fun, the creativity of this museum, and for all of Rochester, as the city notches a new high score in our revitalization efforts. Thanks to the Strong Museum and everyone involved in making this project a reality, and most of all, keep playing.
Thank you, Senator Schumer, and thank you to Ed Hummel and the team at the Economic Development Administration for making this grant possible. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium a longtime museum friend and supporter, Congressman Joe Morelli.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. That's more like a Strong Museum of Play. Good morning. I am just delighted to be here. This is an amazing group. I wish I had could take pictures. I would take a picture of all of you. It looks amazing out there. I'm incredibly grateful to be here, to be a part of this extraordinary moment in our community's history. And I certainly want to thank the governor for being here. She's been a longtime friend and committed to our region and committed to our community. And I think her presence speaks volumes. Also want to thank my dear friends and partners in government who are all seated here, the county executive, Mayor Evans, my friends in the state legislature, county legislature. I think we have, a quorum of just about every government located here today, Steve. So we're all grateful, and I think that demonstrates how important this moment is in Rochester's history. I also want to give just so much thanks to Steve Dubnik, and I met him many years ago when he was an innovator and an entrepreneur, and I remember saying to Steve, who was, I think, chairman of the board when you were, he was out in the restroom when they chose the CEO, and they said, yeah, Dubnik would be good, let's draft him to do it. So he didn't have a chance to say no, but he has done an amazing job, as did Raleigh before him, dear friends, and this is just, it's almost, I've lost words to describe how extraordinary this is. We took a tour a few months ago, and I remember saying to Steve, when are you opening? He said, June 30th. I said, okay. He said, come hell or high water, we're going to be open on June 30th. And boy, you were right, Steve, right on the nose, man. So it really is amazing. So I want to thank him, his staff, members of the board, the volunteers. I mean, this is an extraordinary place. And thank you to CJS and LaChase and M&T and everybody who had a hand in this, and to the developers who were working. I saw my friend Howard Konar, Jet Meta. I mean, the people who are making beyond the museum, which is the focal point, but all the work that we did when we talked about transforming the inner loop. I mean, it's all come to pass in ways that I'm not even sure when you drew it up on the whiteboard, people would have ever expected. It's really exceeded our wildest expectations. I appreciate the fact that my son lives about a block from here in a really nice apartment that I could not afford, but God bless him. But that's about how important this is in terms of the fabric of this community and how this is world class. I mean, people, this is world class. I think you all know that, but there's no place like this in the world. And it's going to bring so many people here. As Senator Schumer said, we were delighted when we were able to get American Rescue Plan dollars because this is about revitalizing our community. And honestly, for me, I love playing games. My wife, who's here somewhere in the crowd, will tell you I'm far too competitive, but I grew up playing games. I remember on days when it was raining, Stratomatic baseball. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember this, but we played constantly, and that was the way that we forged bonds with one another's friends and community, and it really is critically important. I was going to quote Einstein, but my friend Adam Bello is going to do it, so I'll leave it to him. But instead, one of my grandkids' favorite Sesame Street characters, Elmo, not Einstein, but Elmo, said, "It's incredible where you can go with your imagination when you play." And given that Sesame Street and Wegmans and everybody is here and has been here, I think says volumes about it. It also helps us work on our creativity, on discovery, on the things that we learn, putting them into practice in real-life ways that you almost can't do any other way. And when Margaret Woodbury Strong established her Museum of Fascination to share her impressive collection, she did so with the hope that children everywhere would benefit from her lifetime of learning and her experiences and what she had learned through play. And now standing, 90,000 square foot expansion on top of an extraordinary institution already is almost too hard to take in. I'm going to close with this. We'll talk about the economy and how it helps. We're going to talk about tourism and how it helps. It does all of those things. It's really extraordinary what this place will do. But for me, it's really about family. However you define family, however you think about your family. My family, probably 25 years ago, my three children, Lauren, Joseph, and Nicholas, would come here often with my mother and father-in-law, who had been contributors over a long period of time. They loved Raleigh. They loved the museum. And many of you may remember there was a time, I think it was part of a fundraising effort, where you would do the handprints of children, and they would write their names. And I'm sure somewhere in this amazing place, someone's going to show me and point out where that still is, because I'm sure it's here. And we were so great. I had nieces and nephews. Everybody's prints were here, but my kids are here, so I'll be able to always look at my children's prints when they were about 8, 6, and 4, something like that. And my daughter Lauren passed away about 6 years ago. And because this is a family and because this is an extraordinary institution, Steve's folks called up and said, "We don't do this anymore, but we'd like to offer the chance for your grandchildren," my daughter Lauren's 2 kids, who were 4 and 2 at the time, to come and do a tile that we would display next to hers. So we came, and the kids were there, and it will always be a connection for them when they're here with their mother. And, the story is special to us. Lauren's butterfly hangs here. Somewhere I'll figure out with the app, if I can ever figure out how to load it on my phone, exactly which one she is. But we wanted to honor her and her connection to this. That's my story. That's Mary Beth's story. That's our kids' story, our family story. But it's a story that's repeated in different ways by everybody who's here. And people will always remember being here. Your children, when they grow up, will remember having been here. And they'll remember the magic that this place meant to their life and will continue to mean for generations to come. And so for that, I am beyond grateful. So thank you. God bless you.
So, Joe, thank you. And thank you for that. I remember that phone call we made to you about that, and I'm so happy we did that. And thank you for your continued support of this project. Now I would like to welcome the State Senator, Jeremy Cooney.
I need a more playful crutch. Feeling a little bland here. Well, good morning, everyone, and I'm just so delighted to be here and see so many friends in the room. My remarks will be quick. I was thinking of the ride over here. What does today symbolize? New beginnings and all that good stuff. But really, this is a game changer for downtown. And I think we should just all take a moment and remember what was on this corner before this project began. And the way that you came down Monroe Avenue and you came into our city, and that was your experience of what downtown Rochester is. That's changed. And that will change for 1 million+ visitors to our community every year. And when you think about the goal of the Inner Loop East development, way back when, I'm thinking of, a couple of mayors ago, Louise Slaughter was still here, obviously Chuck Schumer working on this. Their idea and their vision was to connect neighborhoods, to get rid of this unused roadway and connect the vibrancy of downtown to the East End. We've done that with the neighborhood of play. We've done that with a new hotel behind here with a play feature that will bring families for years to come. We've done that with Howard Konar's leadership and all the new apartments along Adventure Place and beyond. So we've connected the neighborhoods and we've created a new neighborhood, and we are redefining our downtown for the next generation. That's a game changer, and that deserves a round of applause. But here's our next task. Here's the work before us. We've created this beautiful space, this very special space. But we have a responsibility to make sure that everyone in this room and everyone in the neighborhood surrounding this neighborhood of play have the opportunity to come to the Strong and make moments with their families. We have to make this truly accessible to children of all different ages and backgrounds right here in our own backyard of Rochester. So, as many of you know, Diane and I are very proud to be downtown residents. We moved our office from the suburbs into downtown because we believe that we should be part of making downtown strong again. We believe in our mayor, we believe in our city council, and we know that the biggest days are ahead of us. So on behalf of my family, welcome to downtown. I'm very excited to see where we'll go. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. We really appreciate your ongoing support and love having you in our neighborhood, or close to it. Next, I'd like to introduce State Senator Samara Brooks.
Everyone. Oh, come on. You gave the congressman a bigger one than that. Good morning. Thank you. I thought you warmed him up. I will also try to be very quick. This is just such an exciting time. This is an exciting moment. I see so many families here and kids with impeccable patience for listening to all of these drowning over these adults just talking and talking and talking. It's like school, right? But you're going to play soon because you have the right lanyard, so you're going to get to play. But really, just as my colleague Senator Cooney said, of course I'm excited as a state senator, having, advocated with our legislative partners there for funding, but also as a mom, I'm very excited to have my daughter here, and as I'm told, 14 months is old enough to be here, so she'll be here this weekend or next week. And, I just want to share quickly, yesterday we were here talking to folks who were so integral to building this and bringing this to fruition, and one of the things we talked a lot about was that this is truly a place of meeting and convening. And it's a place where kids, as Senator Cooney said, from all over our area comes. And the truth is we don't have that many places like that, especially for our children. And as a city resident raising my daughter here, but I also grew up in our suburban areas and proudly represent those areas, we lack spaces for all of our kids to come together, learn from each other, become friends, learn how to cash out at Wegmans, learn how to play video games, although mine's too young for that right now. And that is what I think does create the magic for this space. So it is such an honor to be here. Thank you for including us. And whatever the next big thing is, I know you're not ready for it, but whatever the next big thing is, you can definitely count on the state and our partnership as well. So congratulations.
Thank you, Samra. And so our next speaker today, right here in our district, is our friend Assemblymember Damon Meeks.
I need all the children and all of those who have an inner child to really make some noise for the Strong Museum of Play. Now we're going to put on a challenge. For those who are 14 and under, can I hear you make some noise? For those who are 50 and older, can I hear you make some noise? For those who fall somewhere in between, make some noise. I'm really elated to be here this morning. Thank you, Steve. I was here a few months ago doing a tour, and one of the things that I truly appreciate the most is not just the location in the heart of our community, but when we toured this new expansion, we went upstairs, downstairs. I'm seeing skilled masons, I'm seeing electricians, and they were reflective of this community. The diversity that came into play as it relates to building this place. Not saying here is just a new space, but this is a space that the community played a part in building. So for years from now, those individuals who took part can speak to their family for generations to come to say, hey, I played a part in building that space. So I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you all for the diversity. And then I would childhood picture, guess what? It was on Kodak film. How about that? So here we are once again, one up in the rest of the state. So this was on ESPN, and I'll try to channel my inner Dick Patel. The future of Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester is truly becoming larger than life, and a crucial piece of that future that delivered to the facility late last week. And this article is from the month of May. The museum currently in the midst of a massive expansion ahead of the first days of summer, an expansion that will take the patron experience to the next level and make the museum more interactive than ever before. We have the latest updates from the museum, whose personnel seem to be all smiles about that future what the future holds. I think we're all about all smiles at this point, right? So put your big smile on and continue to make noise for the Strong Museum of Play. I came by here last night with the missus, and, we were talking and having a good time, and she said, I look forward to bringing the grandchildren here, but we're going to have to come here personally on a date night, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you all.
Thank you, Damon, thank you for everything you do, and now it's my pleasure to introduce our County Executive, Adam Bello.
All right, good morning. Okay, as the speakers were going through, I started scribbling out my notes and crossing this off, so I'm going to try to be quick for you. But it's true. Joe actually says to me, we sit down before the program started, and Joe turns to me and Malik and says, which one of you fellas is quoting Albert Einstein? That's me. So I will quote him in just a minute. But let me start by offering my congratulations, of course, to everybody who made today a reality. Steve, your vision that has really come to life here, and I'm just so proud of all the work that you have done. I want to add my thanks to Governor Hochul and the generosity of New York State, the investment that they made here today. You know, it really does fit in so many of the other investments that we're making to try to keep and retain and attract families and young people to build their careers and start their lives and raise their families here, whether it's here at the Strong Museum or at Innovative Field, the Seneca Park Zoo. The investments New York State is making here are really changing the face of Rochester, and I want to thank our state delegation, the governor, for all their investments, so thank you. And of course, I want to thank all the private donations and the philanthropy that went into making this a reality too, for seeing the value of play and the value that the Strong Museum plays to our community. So thank you for your contributions as well. So playing together, it teaches us about trust, cooperation, building social relationships. It fosters creativity, encourages children to express themselves, to explore their world. Play grows and it expands young minds. It teaches critical thinking, fairness, and sharing. Wait for it, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein said, to stimulate creativity, one must develop the childlike inclination for play. It's actually that simple. Play is important, and it needed a champion. And here in Rochester, it found that champion with Margaret Woodbury Strong. And when you think about it, Margaret Woodbury Strong's legacy and what the Strong Museum has accomplished is rooted in innovation. And innovation is in our DNA here in Monroe County. It's our past, it's our present, and it's our future. We were built with great minds with groundbreaking ideas who had the will to make their ideas a reality. People like George Eastman. We're home to Xerox, Bausch & Lomb, all innovated and created and implemented world-changing technology, and that innovation continues today. You think about the high-tech innovation companies like Plug Power. We have Li-Cycle building and expanding here. It was just the day or two ago I was with the mayor over at NextCore celebrating 5 years downtown in Rochester, and the hundreds of companies that they're working with and building and that are creating and innovating here in Rochester. You have Innovative Square. You have Innovative Field. It's about our history, and it's a nod to our future. So this is where it all begins, though, here with play, to expand minds, to tap into that innate nature of creativity and innovation and that spirit of entrepreneurship that really does live in all of our young people. And Steve, on a personal note, I want to thank you, too, for what you do. I have 2 young children, and I got to tell you something. We lived here. We were here almost every day because there was very few places that you could actually go year-round, right? It could be a hot 100-degree day. It could be negative 20 degrees outside. You could come to the Strong Museum. And you really did open up a whole new world for my family and my children. We spent a lot of time at Wegmans, and it turns out you did teach them for the future, because now they can do the self-checkout at Wegmans when we check out. So you did a nice job, although I think it would be quicker if we really just went through the regular checkout lines, but thank you. So again, congratulations to everyone who was involved. Thank you on behalf of my family and all the families who call Monroe County home. You just did a remarkable job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adam. And now the museum is we're proud to be situated in Rochester and be a part of the city's economic rise. So it's now my great pleasure to introduce the mayor of the great city of Rochester, Malik Evans.
Good morning. It's still morning. You know, I'm always reminded when I come to events like this of when I first got elected to the school board a long time ago when my hair was a lot darker. It was my first graduation speech. I think it was at a school 45 or 46, and it was a 6th grader that was graduating to go on to 7th grade. And I was all excited. I was practicing the speech in the mirror. It was my first big graduation speech. And I said to the kid, I said, "Hey, I'm Malik Evans. I'm getting ready to give your speech. What should I talk about?" He said, "Mister, I don't care what you're talking about. my mom's going to buy me some ice cream, so whatever you're going to talk about, say it quick. So, those of you that know me, I will use the 5 B's. Be brief, brother, be brief. I'm going to be brief because my kids are here and they want to get up there and play in that Donkey Kong game. Let me just say it is a tremendous honor to be here today for this momentous occasion. I think that this cannot be understated in Rochester's history. And it's the reason why I wanted my kids here. They're probably wondering, why did my dad have me come and sit through this long press conference to hear all these politicians talk? It's because I want them to know that they are a part of a moment in a place that is non-existent anywhere else in the world, period. The historic nature of Strong Museum cannot be understated. There is, like I said, nowhere else like this. But not only what this is doing for those of us that are young and old alike that like to play, this is transformational for our city. It is transformational for our city from an economic development perspective. Because when someone comes here to Strong and they decide to make a trip out of it, they may visit our restaurants. In fact, I know they will visit our restaurants. They will lay their heads in a hotel. They may run into someone who may say, I've never heard of Rochester, but, you know, I was 10 years old when I came and I might want to spend some time here, and I may go on and attend the University of Rochester or RIT or one of our other great institutions that we have. Or it may be a business person that might run into someone and say, oh, I'm interested in video games, and you have the Video Game Hall of Fame. I can go down the street and go into Rochester's Innovation Zone and see how we can connect the dots there. So this is a multiplier effect. This is transformational. This puts Rochester on the map, and it allows us to talk about our resources and not our deficits. And too often in our community, we talk about our deficits, and this gives us an opportunity to talk about our resources. And just let me say on a personal note, for anyone in here that has a toddler, for anyone in here that has someone and you can't get them to go to sleep, one of the best nap tools that Malik and Shawanda Evans had was Strong Museum. When our oldest son couldn't take a nap, we would just bring him to Strong and let him loose, and he would sleep like a baby. So parents, let your kids come here and let them run loose. And the last point I'll make is that the Video Game Hall of Fame, for me, I have as an adult, in my house, we should have just about every single game system there is. You can play just about any game that you ever thought of here at Strong. And I'll end with this. My favorite, and anyone that wants to play me afterwards, we can see me upstairs, is Street Fighter. Because it's very apropos to politics. My favorite character is Blanca. She has the electric shock when you play. But there's just so much here that is so transformational for Rochester. The Interloop, what this did for the Interloop, it was visionary. It allowed us to continue to expand and put Rochester on the map. And I want to thank Steve, the board of directors, the team, the sponsors, all of the people who made this possible. Because as we talk about taking Rochester to the next level, it will definitely be taken to the next level, and it will be because of institutions like Strong National Museum of Play. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Wow, thank you, Mayor Evans. To talk about the campaign and our key supporters, I'd like to introduce the person instrumental in the success of the Powered by Play, the Campaign for the Strong, and our Vice President for Institutional Advancement, Lisa Feinstein.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Steve. Back in 2018, the Strong National Museum of Play launched Powered by Play, a campaign for the strong, to fund this $70 million project and related educational and outreach programs. Today, as we celebrate the grand opening of the expanded museum and the neighborhood of play, we are grateful to our lead donors whose generosity truly powered this transformation. and we would like to publicly recognize and thank you for making all of this possible. The New York State and Empire State Development, the U.S. Department of Commerce's Economic Development Administration, the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, Alan and Vivian Hassenfeld and the Hassenfeld Family Foundation, the Reedman Foundation, ESL Federal Credit Union, Suzanne and Tony Goodman, Austin McCord, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and the Mary C. Valentine and Andrew R. Cosman Trust. Thank you for your leadership, your generosity, and your friendship. While I can't stand up here and read all the names of all of our donors, please know that you are all appreciated. Every donation of every size has a big impact on the family and the children we serve. So thank you. And while we're here, yes. And while we have some work to do, because even though we're opening the expansion, the campaign runs until the end of the year, I am very proud to share that as of today, we have raised nearly $72 million towards our $75 million campaign. So thank you. And $72 million is a very big number, and it's an amazing number, but in a way what's even more amazing is the scope and the diversity of the people and the organizations who have supported this campaign and who support this museum. It has been a truly national effort. Just like the Strong has grown into a national museum, we have here with us today donors and supporters from across the country. We have people here from companies like Hasbro, Nintendo, Spin Master, and the Toy Association, and from as far away as California, Texas, North Carolina, and across the country. Thank you to all of our donors and supporters. You made this expansion possible. You allow the Strong to share the power of play with millions of people. Thank you.
We have speakers coming up, right? And first is, because they didn't print it out for me. They didn't print out the speaker list for me. David Egner, who's the CEO of the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, who is one of our anchor donors. We had a conversation. I remember when Dave came to visit us in the museum, and this was literally just PowerPoints. There was nothing that was happening here outside of that. And he looked at me and said, you know, I think we can support this. I think we can do $5 million. And we had that conversation. We went through, provided a lot of information, and they did the $5 million. So we're so grateful. And David, please.
Good morning, everyone. Young people over here, thank you for your patience. I don't know how you're doing it. I want to go play. So we're privileged to be a part of this great day and this great expansion and everything that it means. And it would be so easy to lose the importance of what's happening here on the pageantry of today and the economic development as vibrant and important as it is around us. Let's don't forget the importance of play. Mr. Wilson understood that. That's one of the reasons he founded the Buffalo Bills and the American Football League. He understood the importance of play. The brain science is really clear. Developmental milestones early on come from play. If you can learn how to deal with things emotionally, you're ready to deal with it academically. As you get older, play reinforces science. It reinforces math. It reinforces civics. It teaches us how to be civil. It teaches us how to have discourse. It teaches us how to solve problems. If only we could get our folks in Washington to play more. Present company excluded. Play is so important. So, Steve, while I congratulate you and the staff and the board for today, and the pageantry and the importance and the economic impact, let me thank you for the work that you're going to do for tomorrow, because through play, you'll continue to shape the next leaders. You may shape the next Ralph Wilson, or maybe even the next Steve Dubnick. Thank you so much.
So next, I'd like to invite one of our great partners who's been a supporter of the museum for a long time and a supporter of the Rochester community in so many ways through his foundation, that ESL Foundation, Fahim Massoud, CEO of ESL Federal Credit Union.
Right about now, I wish I had a pen because I have to eliminate a lot of what I was going to say. But there are some things I should say, and on behalf of us at ESL, as neighbors, supporters, and enthusiastic fans of the Strong Museum, we are delighted to be here with you today to celebrate what has been a truly remarkable transformation for the museum. The Strong has always had such a rich history in our community, and to observe and participate its latest evolution has really been an honor for ESL, a truly exciting and impactful journey. And it is important for me to acknowledge that the Strong would not be here today without its supporters or without the vision of Steve, his team, and the Board of Trustees. Thank you all for what you have done to make this possible today. The wonderment and pure joy experienced by so many children in the future is a testament to how special of a gem we have in the Strong Museum. I also do want to acknowledge and applaud the Strong for its focus on bringing to the forefront the important contributions of women, people of color, and the LGBTQIA community in the development of video gaming, as is highlighted in the ESL Digital Worlds Gallery. Exposing visitors to such information that can transform and inspire is yet another vital example of why the Strong and museums in general are such valuable pillars in a community. Our community truly is very fortunate to have the Strong and all that it does to entertain, inspire, and educate thousands of visitors locally and from around the world year after year. So on behalf of ESL, congratulations to our neighbors for this monumental achievement. Thank you.
And our next and last speaker of the morning is someone that for many of the people who are in the toy and video game industry needs no introduction. He's an icon, a legend in the industry. He's been a supporter of the museum going back a decade or more. He helped bring the Toy Industry Hall of Fame to the museum in 2015. Alan Hessenfeld.
Last night, I had to follow puddles. Today, I have to follow our beautifully clad in tie and jacket leaders of this community. But I'm just curious, especially with the kids here, I would much rather be talking to you, and we can talk about Star Wars, since I make it, Transformers, Baby Alive, anything you want to talk about in toys, I'd love to later. Is there anyone in the room that Steve has not thanked? If not, I'm going to put some, where you can deposit your name and I'll thank you. To the kids, I call him Uncle Steve. Would you look at his sneakers and give me a comment what you think about his shoes? Again, you can tell by my attire that I'm not a politician. I'm not a businessman. I'm just a toy tester. And I must say, Malik, I know you made an offer for Mr. Potato Head to move to Rochester. If Chris Cox, my CEO, says yes, you can have Potato Head forever and a day. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Both Hasbro and the Strong families believe in our dreams, but we believe in them together. It all began for Hasbro, which, by the way, stands for Hassenfeld Brothers, 100 years ago in 1923 in Rhode Island. I'm sorry it wasn't Rochester. I represent the third generation. From generation to generation, our tradition, our culture, and ethic has been passed down. Ours is a culture to bring sunshine where there's darkness, to bring a smile where there's a tear. All of our success has been through children and their families, and therefore our obligation is to attempt to make it a better world for our greatest natural resource, our children. Whether it be Potato Head, Monopoly, Play-Doh, Twister, or Furby, they are all part of this family. And as you walk through the Strong, you'll understand that each and every toy has a life. And always, before they became a toy, they gave us nothing but trouble. Once upon a time, a woman named Margaret Woodbury Strong had a vision. And here we are today, living her dream. Last night, as I was playing Ouija with Margaret, she wanted me to thank so many of you who are here today. Firstly, what an incredible magic kingdom you from Rochester and here at the Strong have created. It truly is, as it's been said, the greatest repository of play in the world today. There is no comparison. To all here, congratulations on having the vision to be the center of play worldwide. To New York State leaders, the local leaders, to my Strong Museum friends, to the Rochester community, thank you for making a dream become reality. Let me thank Tiana and the children of the Woodbury School for their shopping list. And their major thing is they want more toys. Tiana, there are enough toys in this place. Why do they want more from me? Let me above all thank my Hasbro family and all the elves there, and for all the elves in our industry for their insatiable creativity and innovation. Just an important note from the toy industry, which is definitely not a commercial note. Let me remind all of you, grandparents, parents, aunts and uncles, there are only 178 shopping days to Christmas. Go shopping after you give to the Strong. In closing, a poem I found, but I know not its origin. Just close your eyes for a moment. And the poem reads, "We all knew magic once. We saw fairies where there were fireflies. We talked to animals and we sang to birds. We believed in pixie dust and red capes. We built castles in treetops. We raced clouds. We flew on carpets. We traveled to the stars. And then something happened. We grew up. My advice, never grow up. Always remain young at heart and dream to make it a better world for children. Remember you were kids once. Make the kids of today have the same experiences you had." Thank you so much for letting me here.
Well, thank you again to all of our speakers and our supporters, and thank you all for being here today. Just as a reminder, there are media and industry tours available after the event for those with green, purple, red, or blue lanyards. If everyone else can give us a few minutes to kick those tours off, we'll invite you upstairs shortly afterwards. Thank you to everyone again. We did it.